Hello everyone, Ola Zaccheus here. I have a message for the week beginning 18th of December 2022. And that message says, you can draw the line, part 2. I want you to please go back to watch the broadcast I did 2 weeks ago. You can draw the line, part 1. So this is you can draw the line, part 2. And I'll be reading from John chapter 2, verses 13 to 16 in the New Living Translation. It reads thus: It was nearly time for the Jewish Passover celebration. So Jesus went to Jerusalem. In the temple area, he saw merchants selling cattle, sheep, and doves for sacrifices. He also saw dealers at tables exchanging foreign money. Jesus made a whip from some ropes and chased them all out of the temple. He drove out the sheep and cattle, scattered the money changers' coins over the floor, and turned over their tables. Then, going over to the people who sold doves, he told them, "Get these things out of here. Stop turning my father's house into a marketplace." This is not a call for someone to engage in violence. I don't want you to say, Ola told you you could make a whip and beat your children, your wife, or your husband. This is not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that you need to understand that everyone has two sides. God has two sides. The Bible tells us that, behold the goodness and severity of God. So you also need to understand that you as a person, you ought to have two sides. If you don't, people will take advantage of you. And if you are relating with people as well, you need to understand that they have two sides so that you know how to behave yourself, so you don't see the other side of them that is not favorable. So you can draw the line, part 2. I want us to understand that you can't have peace without some form of conflict and conflict management. Jesus is the Prince of Peace, and yet he had to enforce peace in the temple of God. He had to enforce order. He had to enforce respect for God. And that was the only way he could do it. The people engaging in business in the house of God, they were stubborn. They were not going to stop otherwise. Some relationships have lots of unresolved problems because no one is willing to confront a wrongdoing. Some children leave their parents' house half-baked, so to speak. Why? The parents are not willing to confront their bad behavior and ensure a positive resolution. You can draw the line, but make sure you do it in love. Make sure you do it in love. In the broadcast I did 2 weeks ago, you can draw the line, part 1. I spoke about how Paul, the apostle, confronted the high priest who asked him to be slapped. Paul said, "God will slap you, you corrupt hypocrite." After I spoke, someone said to him, "Do you realize you've just spoken to the high priest?" Immediately, Paul apologized. But did the high priest achieve his goal of slapping Paul? No, he didn't. So sometimes you draw the line in peace. Paul apologized to the high priest, but he still refused to be slapped. In the book of Genesis, there was a fight, a contention between the herdsmen of Abraham and the herdsmen of his nephew Lot. Abraham, being a man of peace, drew the line. He told Lot, "Choose any land that you want. If you go left, I will go right. If you go right, I will go left." What am I trying to say? You need discernment and wisdom to know whether to turn your back against an insult or whether to confront the issue. In Acts chapter 16, Paul and Silas were beaten and thrown into jail. The following morning, the people that jailed them told them to go, because obviously they had seen the miraculous deliverance of God when there was an earthquake in the prison and the chains were broken. So the people said, "Go." But Paul said, "No way. We can't just go like that. Do you know that we are Roman citizens and we should not have been mistreated in the first instance? So upon hearing that they are Roman citizens, the people that jailed them started to beg them, because people were afraid of the power of the Roman Empire. You couldn't at that time mistreat a Roman citizen and go scot-free. So what are my conclusions? Number one, know who you are. Number two, be a person of peace. Number three, protect your peace at all costs. If there are people that are determined to toy with your peace and misbehave towards you, avoid them if you can. But if you can't avoid them, you need to draw the line by confronting the disrespect. You are within your rights to draw the line. Thank you for listening to me. I'm very grateful. Have a great week. God bless you. Amen.